Shalom, this is Yair Davidiy speaking to you from Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. I'm speaking to you on behalf of Brit-Am, Hebrew Nations, an organization that researches the whereabouts of lost 10 tribes, and we have found them amongst Western nations. We have proven it. We work at bringing this proof to the public's attention and also doing research, establishing the proof, rounding it out, adding to it, and perfecting it. And that is what we do. We work at it, and we work at projecting it. We work at propagating it and confirming it. We also work towards a reconciliation between Judah, that is the Jewish people, and the lost 10 tribes of Israel. Sylvia Halpert, an associate and a supporter and a fellow believer in our goals and in our mission, has drawn up a timeline, a very interesting and educational timeline showing the outline of history of the Israelite nations, including the division between the two sections of the Israelite nation. There were originally 12 tribes of Israel. These 12 tribes had split into two different sections, and one became the lost 10 tribes of Israel and the other became the Jewish people. So this timeline illustrates this, and this is what we are about to show you and to explain to you, because it is very important. It's important in order to understand the Bible, in order to understand the divine plan for all of mankind, and also for the people of Israel. The people of Israel include the Jewish people and the 10 tribes of Israel. By the 10 tribes of Israel we mean Western nations. Western nations, that is the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, including Scotland, England, Wales, Ulster, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland, as well as that Switzerland, France, Belgium, Holland, the Netherlands, that is Denmark, Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And we're not saying that everyone in these nations, amongst these peoples, are from the lost 10 tribes. They are not. But that is where the lost 10 tribes are to be searched for. That is where they are to be found. And indications are that a significant proportion of the peoples that we mentioned, a significant proportion amongst them, do descend from Israelites, and they are from the 10 tribes of Israel. And this is what has to be made known to them and to Judah, for their own sakes and for the sake of the world in general and for the sake of the Jewish people. And we work towards the good of all of them in forwarding this message, because this message is very important. Now, on this timeline, the timeline begins from the very beginning, the creation of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve were the first man and woman, and they were one unity. Man was born as a man and woman together. He was not born as man and man. We are against homosexuality. Homosexuality is an abomination, and it is condemned very, very strongly by the Bible, and so it should be. So the first human beings were Adam and Eve, the first man and woman, and from them came a series of descendants, and the world had progressed as it did until we come to the time of Noah, when mankind had begun to destroy themselves. Mankind had begun to destroy themselves at the time of Noah, so Noah was commanded to build an ark. We should remember, though, that the point about all of mankind having a common ancestor is that in everything that is in someone else is also within us. There is no such thing as inherently racial superiority or inferiority, or something that is beyond human potential that does not exist in other people. We are all the same, and that is, we all have a fundamental similar structure to our personalities and to our abilities and to what we are. We are all the creatures of God Almighty. And the world was created, mankind was created for the sake of Israel, to bring forth Israel and for Israel to redeem mankind. It is a twofold. It is a twofold process. After the creation of the earth and man and women, Adam and Eve, as we said, mankind progressed, but mankind went in a dark way. They went in a bad way. They corrupted their conduct, And so it was decreed that mankind should be destroyed, except for Noah and his family. And Noah and his family were saved by, as God commanded them, building an ark, a big boat, a type of boat-like structure, and going into it with the representatives of all of the animals of the earth. Then the flood came upon the earth and destroyed all that was upon it, and the mankind was rebuilt from the descendants of Noah. The descendants of Noah were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. After Noah, we come to Abraham. Abraham was a descendant of Shem. Shem was the forefather of Abraham. Abraham was commanded to get out of the nation in which he dwelt, to go to the place which God would command him, and he was told that in him and in all the families that would of his descendants, all of earth would be blessed, and his descendants would be like the sand of the sea, and they're like the stars of the heaven. They were promised the land of Israel, the land of Canaan, which was to become the land of Israel, which stretches from the Nile to the Euphrates. It includes portions of present-day Egypt, portions of Saudi Arabia, the land of Israel, the state of Israel, also the Palestinian, so-called Palestinian sections, the area of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, parts of Iraq, parts of Turkey, and the Isle of Cyprus, and more. And this is all part of the promised land that was promised unto Abraham. The wife of Abraham was Sarah, and Sarah and Abraham, from Sarah and Abraham came Isaac. And Isaac was, through Rebekah, his wife, gave birth, he begat twins, Jacob and Esau. From Esau is also known as Edom, come the founding elements of Rome, of the Roman Empire, and also of the Germanic nations and of other European entities, possibly also from ruling groups in Japan and other areas. Esau was blessed. He was blessed that he should have a fertile land, and that he should be rich, powerful, and live by the sword, and martial types, leading elite elements in many nations, apparently descended from Edom, from Esau.